Oh my God, they would be wonderful. I must look those guys up. 0344 499 1000. Let's have a word with Sloop John B. Sloop John B.
She likes the way that I dance. She likes the way that I move. She likes the way that I rock. She likes the way that I woo. Sorry, I wanted to give you a bit of pop smoke there, Catherine.
Love it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's what was lacking.
Man. Yes, exactly, man. Listen, by the way, on the Fleetwood Mac front, I heard Gypsy recently. I didn't know that was them. I never thought they were a good band, and I heard Gypsy, and I was blown away. It's a tune, isn't it?
It's beautiful. They've done so many wonderful, wonderful songs. And I grew up with them being like a dad band, basically. They were Tango in the Night as far as I were concerned. But you read the stuff about them. I mean, it's a miracle most of them are still alive.
I saw a documentary about them, so stuff to do with the white lines. We'll leave it there, you know.
Yeah. But the other thing is, like, rumours, thank God they couldn't talk to each other, because the fact was they were shooting messages back and forth in those songs. And also, what a ridiculous situation where you're reading your ex writing what a tosser you are, and you're quite, well, maybe not happy to record it, but you make some of the best music of your life around it, and it becomes like part of your legacy. Incredible stuff.
It's crazy, you know. So I'm definitely a fan now, but I've been told I have to get Tusk, apparently. So
right, Tusk is one of those, right? So the record executives were expecting something like Rumours. They wanted that again, but of course they've all moved on in their lives at this point. Also, Lindsey Buckingham has descended into, you know, just, well, I say descended. He's gone up his own jack seat. This is like covered in this book, that book I mentioned by Caroline Harris. Okay. And she talks about him, you know, lying under tables, under different surfaces, trying to get certain sounds and stuff, and having to record straight away it was like super experimental stuff. And apparently when they played them Tusk in the record executive's office, it was like silence. This is not what we asked for at all. I love Tusk so much. It's one of my favourite of their songs, but it certainly was not what was expected of them.
I've been told it's quite good, so I'm going to get it. I've got Rumours and I love that, so I'll start working my way down.
Well, don't expect Rumours is what I'm saying to you. No. And bear in mind the context. You could do worse than reading that book. I don't know, like I say, I don't know how much of it's true and how much of it's exaggerated, but it's a hell of a story.
Well, listen, I'll look into it, but I've got a couple of things for you, right? And the first one's brief, but do you remember we spoke about R. Kelly? Do you remember that and all of that stuff a while back? Yeah. Now, I've got to be very careful. I've got my producer head on here, so you're going to understand why I'm going to be vague. There was some very serious rumours going around about someone I admire.
Right.
And I met somebody a couple of weeks ago who experienced this firsthand.
Right.
Another person told me, we'll leave it there, but I'm now having to really sort of think about, do I still go on being a fan? Do you know what I mean? So maybe it'd be something else we could talk about at another time.
Okay. But yeah, it's definitely one. It is one that a lot of us struggle with. I was a big Morrissey fan.
Yeah, and he's just turned into, well, an idiot, really. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but not for me. Thank you very much.
No, and for a while I was hoping he was just being morose and ridiculous because that was kind of part of the persona, but then I realised he means it.
But do you not think there were clues in the lyrics, Catherine? Have you ever heard the one about you're the one for me, fatty, and stuff like that? And,
yeah, but a lot of it was kind of... A lot of it was... A lot of it was pointed and slightly derogatory, you know, buck-toothed girl from Luxembourg, all that sort of stuff. But I thought it was more about him than it was about other people. And I'm not even bothered about that, to be honest. It's more the sort of racist stuff. Anyway.
I think he's guilty of what a lot of, maybe the stuff that I've heard about someone is that when people get to a certain point, there's no telling them anymore. Do you know what I mean by that? Like what that whole celebrity cult.
But he strikes me that he's always been like that, an awkward sod, and he was celebrated for it for a long time, but now... Man.
So, but, you know, sooner or later these things come to the light. But listen, I've got something really funny I thought I'd tell you, basically.
Do it.
Right? So I've been working hard. I've got some time off now, which is great. So while everyone's climbing the walls of lockdown, I'm absolutely loving it. I've got all my books out and films and everything, right? Even though we all know it's pretty much over now. But, you know, have you ever heard about
it isn't, but some people are carrying on like it is, yeah.
Well, just to add something, this person who I'd heard stuff about has defied it, but we'll leave it there as well. But you ever heard about the 6 degrees of separation?
Yes, the Kevin Bacon effect.
Yes, I've had that with another caller. And we've had a correspondence just talking about sort of calling up the show and stuff like that. And I just had my mind blown. We basically grew up 2 streets away from each other. Literally, a couple of streets away. Went to the same primary school, had the same teachers, and this is the best bit. He worked with one of my best mates for 2 years.
Good grief. All right, well, here's the thing. Do you believe that...
Go on.
Do you believe that that is destined to happen, that at some point your paths were going to cross, or do you think that's coincidence?
Well, it's a tricky one because London is quite a big place. And, you know, maybe it's just one of those things where sometimes it's just one of those, you know, we're both into the same sorts of things. So it was just, maybe that was bound to happen. Do you know what I mean by that? So you can't, you know, it is, but it's just so strange when you're talking to someone. And for a long time when we were talking, we didn't mention any of this stuff. It was literally like, oh, how do you find when you talk to Ian here, or what's Kath? You know, just little things, nothing nasty.
Yeah.
Just talking.
What's Kath like? Massive cow. stuff like just what's it like having to call up, because it does take quite a lot to do it sometimes. Yeah, of course it does. I don't think I'd dare do it.
Do you know what I mean? I tell you what, I can actually put it into what it feels like to call up, right? Because people are going, I couldn't do it. It feels like climbing a ladder, a really tall ladder up to the top of a house. If anyone ever knows what they're talking about, like if you had to change an aerial on top of a house, it's something like, I can do this, but you're going to have to focus on what you're doing here. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
And it can be tricky. And sometimes, if I'm being honest as well, the thing that I found is sometimes it's a bit like, you know, when comedians talk about bombing.
Yes.
Like sometimes you can have a call and you walk away and you go, yeah, man, I smashed it. And other times you come away and go, that wasn't so good. Do you see what I mean? But for me, because I write and stuff, I've got hopes of maybe one day becoming a published author. And a lot of that would be doing sort of reading publicly, which I've done. Yeah. So as much as I love talking to you guys, and a lot of it for me is also just a bit of confidence building and stuff like that. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I hope this call's gone all right tonight.
Well, I'd give it a strong 8 out of 10.
Are you sure?
Yes. It's gone fine. In what other walk of life would you have a conversation? Well, maybe you do. I used to be that sort of person. I would have a conversation with someone, then afterwards go, well, how did that go? Was that the best I could have done? But it's not a performance. We're just having a conversation. I wouldn't worry about it.
No, it's a laugh, and I'll tell you where I stand as well, is that, like, I love the show, you guys know that, yeah, I'm a huge fan, I stumbled across it purely by accident, and for me, a lot of it is just wanting to contribute. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah,
because I like it, and it's a bit like, you know, if you're in a pub and you're with people and stuff, and it's like, look, let me get my round of drinks in, so if I sing down the phone or do silly stuff and stuff like that, it's about sort of, you know, trying to put something in. But I'm also very aware is that sometimes I've called up a bit too much. I'm like, I'm producing myself to a degree, going, yo, John, eat that, man, because you know what I mean?
You know what? That's completely, I can understand how you would feel like that. But if it ever got to that point, and sometimes, you know, with certain callers that do ring up a lot, we do say to them, you know, not tonight. But it's never a personal thing, and we'll always speak to them again. It's just, you know, it's just so that we've got something to talk about. You know, it's the same thing as having...
Because you and me, it feels like we're just having a phone call, right? But when you really think about it, it's like we're stood on a stage in front of, like, loads of people having that conversation.
But you mustn't think of it like that, because if I thought of it like that, I would go nuts. That's how I used to think of it when I first started out in radio. And it's terrifying, and you will freeze, because who are you trying to please?
Yeah.
All you can do, and what people appreciate, I think... You know, if they listen to the show for long enough, they realise that this isn't an act, this is what I sound like, this is how I am. Ian, you know, messes about and stuff, but you know that essentially what his spirit is through listening to this show. And we're not doing a thing, you know?
Can I tell you what the difference is, though, between you and Ian, which I've known? And not in a bad way, this is in a good way. You're a lot more straightforward to talk to, in terms of, like, you pull more out of the caller in terms of talking. What I love about Ian is he's kind of like... talking to him like trying to hold a jelly without a plate, and that's where the entertainment is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why I love calling, because I'll be in there, and sometimes it's like the Battle of the Worlds. I'm like, right, I'm going to talk to Ian, and I go on there, and then suddenly the call ends. I'm like, I didn't get, you know, and that's what the entertainment is, because he obviously sees it coming a mile off.
He's a puppy, that's why. I think he's more of a puppy than I am. I don't know. I was talking to him last night, and I said, you know, I find it really difficult to not say that maybe I'm the kind of more boring one, you know, the supply teacher that everyone kind of... But I know that that's not the case, but that's, my energy is different. He went, yeah, our energies are different. We're different people. The shows that we do on our own are different from the shows we do together, and that's groovy, and people get it. And you know what? If they don't get it, then that's fine. It's not compulsory listening.
Yeah, no, each to their own, man, but it's sounding good at the moment, Katherine. I really like it. And can I give a shout out to my brother from another mother? The 6 degrees of separation, dude.
Go on then. Oh, just this once, but you know what we like about shout outs.
Andrew, I've made my call. Now it's over to you, brother. All right, Kath? Thank you.
0344 499 1000. That was Sloop. Let's have a word with Nigel. Hey, Nigel, what's going on with you?
Oh, hi, Katherine. Let's go through the keyhole. I'm just joking.
You keep away from my keyhole.
Haven't I?
Have you?
Let's go through the keyhole. Well, I'm in the kitchen now. I was in the front room. Now I'm in the kitchen.
All right. Okay. You're in the place where it's got maximum reception.
That's the best place for the signal, isn't it?
Perfect. What can we do for you tonight, Nigel?
We're on up to sing a song in a minute. But we've had glorious weather, haven't we, since that epidemic?
Well, yeah. I don't think it's related. I think it's more to do with the fact it's getting on summer. But yeah, we've had the paddling pool out today and everything.
It's been unbelievably hot this afternoon, so I cycled into Maidstone to get food parcel.
Yeah.
Like still getting my food parcels, and it was unbelievable. I had my shorts on, but I was still hot. It was unbelievably hot.
You go careful on that bike in this heat. It's too hot.
Yeah,
do you not hang on?
I know it's too hot to cycle really, but I've got a new girlfriend in Maidstone as well, which I saw yesterday and today.
Oh, blimey.
No, not a young one, but sort of middle-aged one girl. But I've got a phone number and everything, but there's nowhere to take you, see, because all the cafes and pubs are shut. Yeah. There's nowhere to go for a meal.
You can stand 2 metres apart and have a chat, though.
I know we sat together yesterday, quite close. She's not bothered about it. She couldn't care less, she said, about it.
Yeah, but I'm bothered about you getting it, Nigel.
Yeah, I wasn't that close to her, but I mean, I shook hands with her before I left her, as I do.
Okay, well, I hope you washed them afterwards.
Yeah, I always do when I get home. I've got to spend a lot of money on my bike at the moment because I worn it out going out so much,
I bet.
But
do you never think just
to get the food? I was important to get the food parcel if I'm able to get it, though, isn't it?
Of course it was, but do you not think it would be easier if you were to walk it, especially in this heat?
No, I took all the afternoon to do 12 miles, but still 12 miles.
Blimey, Nigel. 12 miles.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I'm used to it, cycling anyway. But I was going to say, on Twitter, Nigel Reader Free, I've just put at on the top of that page, Nigel Reader Free Twitter, a film of me singing at Christmas time on stage in a cafe in Maidstone, if anyone wants to have a look. It's got a Christmas tree in the background. I've got a red jacket, a Father Christmas jacket on, and I'm singing with Tom on the piano. And I had a round of applause at the end of my song, so it was like a gig, really.
Quite right, too. What are you going to sing for us tonight, Nigel?
Well, the song I did in this video, Misty.
You can sit down.
A cappella. Yeah, I haven't done this one for ages, so I thought I'd have a go at it. I mean, I might be a bit rusty. Then. Might be a bit rusty with it, but it's better with a
should be a bit misty. Okay,
it might be a bit misty. Don't start me off. I was going to do Mrs. Doubtfire when they come on and go, hello, this is Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello, Katherine, have you had a good day? Have you got sunburn?
Wow. No, I haven't got sunburn, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Have you been sitting in the garden, Katherine?
Yes, I
could all night with that one, couldn't I? But it sounds more like Dame Everett, doesn't it, than...
No, she's a bit more, hello, possums, what a lovely impression you're doing.
I have to put a bit more into it for that, though.
Yeah.
Hello, possums. Hello, possums.
Beautiful.
Something like that.
It's uncanny. Yeah.
It's in between the high and the low, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's a bit more like that. And, what was their bridesmaid called? Marge. Yeah, but it's a fella. Madge. Oh, Madge.
She was good, wasn't she, though? She was good, Dana Everett. I look at her on YouTube a lot. There's all recordings of her on her old shows and things.
I thought she was wonderful, darlings. I mean that most sincerely.
Is that really? That sounds really good. Oh, that's amazing.
Thanks. It's one of the first impressions I ever did. I think most of us did. You know, like blokes always do Frank. You do Frank Spencer, don't you?
Oh, Frank Spencer. I always got a round of applause for doing that at the butlers and places.
Well, exactly, because in the 80s, they were the impressions that you did. Anyway, well, give us a song, Nigel. There you go. I thought you weren't going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to sing, Betty, I'm going to sing Misty now, Betty, all right? I won't have a bit of trouble with it.
On the carpet.
Properly. Betty. Here we go, this is Misty then.
2, 3, 4.
Okay, 1, 2, people. Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. And I feel like I'm clinging to a crowd I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. Or it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear. I get misty the moment you're near. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nigel. 0344 499 1000. We'll take a little break so we can digest that. And then we'll speak to Lorna, Sean or Dean. Who could it be? It could be you if you want to give me a ring now. 0344 499 1000.
Talk Radio. Which Experts Explain with Mike Graham on Talk Radio. During this uncertain time, Which offers consumer rights advice for you and your family. Join Mike Graham tomorrow morning from 10 as Which Experts explain your rights on a range of consumer issues, from financial